when you do something completely different from the market and you don't know how people are going to respond, it's a risky thing and it's very scary, right? So I remember one day...
Elvita and her team at the Shoreline Hotel in Waikiki recently, within the last couple of years, took a huge risk in the rebranding and redesign of the hotel. So today we get to hear more about everything that went into the packaging, the branding of it. But more importantly, we get to hear a little bit about the story behind the Shoreline and what they offer within the heart of Waikiki. So stay tuned. Let's do this.
Aloha. Welcome to Hawaii's Best Podcast. Learn the stories behind Hawaii's best experiences, influencers, and businesses. Discover everything that makes Hawaii the Aloha State. And now your host, Bryan Murphy.
Aloha and welcome back to another episode of Hawaii's Best. You got episode 11. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you stay up to date on future episodes. And if you've been hanging out with us for a little bit, go ahead and drop a review. Let us know what you're thinking of the podcast. We'd love to hear your feedback. And also, if you're on Instagram, you can find us at hawaiis.best. Once you're over there, hit the follow button and shoot me a DM. We'd love to connect with you and answer any of the questions you might have about Hawaii. And we'd love to hear more about what you love about Hawaii. So without further ado, let's go ahead and talk story with Elvita and her team at Shoreline Hotel, Waikiki.
Let's talk story.
All right, Elvita, thank you so much for joining us today on Hawaii's Best. How is everything going on at Shoreline, and who do you have joining us today?
All right. Good morning, Bryan. Thank you. I'm very excited to be here with you. I have brought two people with me. I have May Kabawatan. She's a director of revenue. And then I have Josephine Tedrow, who is a director of sales for the Shoreline Hotel Waikiki.
Aloha, Bryan. Good
Aloha.
morning.
Thanks for joining us. Tell us a little bit about Shoreline. When did it open and what's kind of the history behind that?
Well, let's see. We relaunched the Shoreline back July 2018, so last year, and that's when we really rebranded it. But the history of this hotel, it was originally owned by United Airlines, and then our ownership purchased it back in 2012. So we did a whole renovation, a complete renovation right after we took over back in 2012. But as years went by, we realized the market was totally changing. And what we did back in 2012 we felt that it was no longer up to par and we needed to do something different. We had so many hotels that came into the market around 2017 that had very unique experiences. And so what we had to do as a small hotel was, how do we compete and how do we get people to stay with us and how do we become different? So we decided exploring the idea of completely changing a brand, and we wanted something that's definitely different from what you have seen in Waikiki. So we connected with an design agency in New York, and basically they came up with this vision of nature meets neon, but also our end goal for this hotel was to become the most Instagrammable hotel. Knowing that now the travelers are all about the experience and what they can share and, just how they feel. So really it's creating more of an experiential touch points when they arrive at the hotel versus what do you have in the guest room. So really, we really thought at that time, after 6 years of being open, because it was a private hotel before, we really thought it was time to refresh the Shoreline brand and amplify our offerings, the amenities and programming to ensure that we continue to provide our guests with unforgettable experience. The design company agency that we worked with, they came up with a vision to create a colorful, unique experience for the travelers that really focuses on bold colors and still have Hawaiian influences. So that's how the concept of how nature meets neon came up with the bold colors and Hawaiian influences. So the concept is bringing the dramatic landscape and the sunset of Hawaii with a contemporary twist.
I love that. And I think you're absolutely right. It is definitely one of the most Instagrammable hotels out there. Just kind of scrolling through feed, your guys' content just pops. And I love the colors. And I love that concept of neon meets nature. That's so apparent. And I think that really sums up your guys' brand. One of the things you stay at a place or you experience something, I think it's important to know kind of the people behind the brand. And I'm glad you guys are here today. I'd love to hear a little bit more about how you guys got into where you're currently at in your roles. So maybe speak into what your current roles are, and then maybe a little bit of history and what led you to Shoreline.
Yeah, definitely. Well, for myself, Alvita here. I actually I'm from San Francisco. Well, I grew up in Southern California, LA, and then I moved to San Francisco. While I was going to school there, I had a friend who asked me if I wanted to work at a hotel, but I wasn't sure what it was yet. And so when I told him I was interested, it was actually to be a valet at Marriott, which was great. So I jumped at the opportunity, and I never worked in a hotel, so I didn't know what to expect. But the amount of people you meet and the different people from all over the world, it was just such an exciting opportunity and experience. And I wanted to continue with that. So from there, being a valet we used to park, oh my God, I think the Marriott was 1,200 rooms. So we used to park over 300 cars a night. You really had to learn how to park pretty well, especially in San Francisco, those tight garages. But the people that came in really, I think that's what grabbed me, and just the different, who you're meeting every day. It's never the same. So that really made me want to know more about the hotel industry. So I ended up moved up to the different position, tried the different departments within the hotel industry. As you know, there's so many. There's sales, there is the revenue aspect, there's operations, there's the accounting, there's restaurants, food and beverage. There's so many different areas of hotel. You just have to really figure out what you're excited about. And for me, I was really excited about operations. I love being hands-on. So being part of operation, I really wanted to know what it took to run a hotel. In order to do that, you had to try housekeeping, you had to do front desk, you had to do maintenance. You just have to try all aspects just to understand how do you do this every day. And I fell in love with that. So with that, I just kept going, and I did try other areas of the hotel, and I realized my passion was more in operations, the day-to-day, and just meeting the people and just seeing how the hotel comes alive every day.
I love that.
Maybe Josephine can talk about her.
Hi, Bryan. It's me again, Josephine Tedro.
Hey, Josephine.
Yeah, I'm with sales and marketing. My story joining from my end, I came from the Philippines. I just moved here on the island in 2015.
Okay.
And I had a lot of experiences with different hotel setups when I was in my home country, Philippines. The last post that I had was a director of sales of one of the big chains in the country. And then when I arrived here in Hawaii, I was able to get a job with, can I say, Hilton Property. I was with catering and events. That was my first
Everybody
job.
has a past.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm not sure if I'm allowed to mention the brand. Yeah. And I was with catering and events. And after 2 years, I was given an opportunity to go back to room selling. I was really glad to a director of sales and marketing role for both properties, handling Shoreline Hotel Waikiki and Coconut Waikiki Hotel. Yeah, it's really exciting to sell a new brand, especially Shoreline Hotel Waikiki, because whenever I go out to attend trade shows and exhibitions, you would see the excitement from the people that I have been dealing with. Especially, when you say Hawaii, they know that Hawaii can offer a lot of things, be it water adventures or land adventures. Hawaii itself is already a bliss, especially when they see our hotel and our design and our concept is to be the backdrop to an already exciting Hawaii getaway. So for our guests and community to share memories of their visit. And it's really very important that we are giving this excitement to our clientele and their guests as well. So yeah, I'm really happy to have this position and poster my expertise in specifically in selling.
Love that.
Yeah, and then we have May. She's the revenue person. So, those are the ones that decide how are they going to sell the hotel? What rates are we going to sell the hotel?
We have the control of it. Hi, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
So with me, similar to a lot of the stories, you go into the hotel industry not knowing what you want to do. You start off at the front desk, and you try to figure out exactly if sales is going to be your passion or revenue or operations. And initially, my goal was to be in operations. So I did what everyone else do is work on different departments. But one day I had my director of revenue come up to me and ask me if I was interested in doing revenue. And I honestly was not aware about revenue and what they did. So she showed me a couple of things, and I completely fell in love with it because it made me realize that this is something that I wanted to do because it had results. You can try to do something to see what the results are and how it affects the hotel, and looking at the strategy and what you do, will it work, will not. So, and always being able to try different things, it just made me realize that, wow, this is something I really enjoyed. And I kind of veered towards more revenue than operations. And I've been in revenue for a while. And it's just, I love sitting in front of a computer and looking at spreadsheet and knowing that coming up with formulas and looking at results and having that result and knowing that you can see the result and expecting maybe a different one, maybe the same one, but it's always something to where there's that satisfactory to where, oh my gosh, this is what I wanted to see happen. This is exactly where I wanted the hotel to go to. So, and that's been my passion for until now. And that's why I'm in this position.
That's great. I wonder if we can go back to 2018 because that wasn't that long ago. And I'm curious about the relaunch, the rebrand, and I'm sure there was, before, I'm sure you guys did all your research and all your, all the stuff that you needed to do, but I'm sure there was a little bit of tension in that relaunch. So I want to maybe, if we walk back there, what was that relaunch like? And then what has been the general consensus of how the relaunch went from the customer's view or from maybe staff?
Sure. Yeah, I would love to talk about that. So again, like I said, knowing there's all these new hotels coming on to the market and they're so different, what do we do? So we did our research, we looked around, and you typically see the same thing in a lot of hotels, very, similar designs. But what we did notice is many more hotels were going in a direction of a lot of activities, experiences at the property, at the hotel, and what the guests are able to do there rather than just getting a hotel room. What do they do at the hotel they're staying at? So I just remember there was definitely, I don't know if we want to call it tension, but nerves, definitely.
Sure.
I just remember, I know when you do something completely different from the market and you don't know how people are going to respond, it's a risky thing and it's very scary, right? So I remember one day, my asset manager and I were walking down Seaside after we've gone through different design meetings, calls to see what's going to work. We've seen a couple rendering and so on, and we are starting the process. We started seeing the colors, and we're walking down the street, and he goes to me, "Did we make a mistake?" I was like, I got really quiet because honestly, I was probably thinking the same way because you've never seen anything like this, right?
Right.
So anything that's so different, you just don't know if people are how they're gonna react to it. So because the concept was so different, and again, I've never seen it, so I thought, oh my God, I had the same thought in my head. Maybe we did make a mistake, but we knew, being a 135 room property and we're surrounded with hotels, we knew we had to do something completely different. And honestly, at the end, it all worked out when everything started coming together. So when you see a design board and you just have a bunch of colors, it is scary. Like you can't visualize it. And this is why I'm not in design, right? Because you just see you don't know how it's all going to come together, but everything just started to come together. And again, it all kind of worked out. The design agency, BHDM, came up with this great vision, and they really did a good job of putting it together. Fantastic job. So they found a way to reinvent Shoreline just to create more of that engaging experience for visitors and locals from the moment they arrive. So again, the whole concept is being the most Instagrammable. So when you walk up, the designers came up with so many different backgrounds that you can just share with everyone when you arrive at the hotel. We've got the ombre wall when you first come in. We've got the hat wall. Even at the front desk as you're checking in, we've got that neon aloha sign that they can share. We've got the mural artwork up in the pool area, on the rooftop pool that was designed by DJ Neff. Even our hallways, there are so many different colors. You've got the blue, the red, and the green. So it's all just very bold colors that you would never expected. So again, it was very scary, but to see our guests enjoy it and their excitement to see something completely different. I stand at the lobby sometimes, and when they walk in, they're just in awe, and they start looking around and start taking pictures. And again, that was their ultimate goal. So seeing that happen, that was awesome.
That's awesome. You talked a little bit about that tension, but what was that opening day like? What was that moment like?
Well, we had a lot of people here, so we're sitting here trying to figure out, hopefully they get it, they understand our concept, and they just don't come and go, what is this, Because I don't know if you've seen the picture, you come in, you've got bright yellow chairs, we've got a cage with birds, colorful birds. They're native birds. They are native birds. We just say they've dressed up in very colorful outfits, and you've got this long blue chairs, this hot pink area rug. So it's a bunch of colors. So we're standing there going, how are they going to react? But as soon as they start coming in and just the comments that we were getting, the feedback we were getting, we knew that was the right decision. It's just so different.
And then also, Alvida, what makes us really stand out from other hotels as well is, aside from the physical unique features that we are offering to the public, we are also telling them a story.
Correct.
And that really excites and stimulates our guests when you tell them the story that from the ombre wall, there is an inspiration behind that wall. And then when you get inside the lobby, you would see a big jungle wall, white wall. It's at 26 feet. And then the hot wall, as Alvida mentioned. And then when you go up to the swimming pool area, you would see a colorful mural created by DJ Neff. He's a famous California artist. And even in the room, we have this "You Are Here" a wall. It's actually a topographic map of the Hawaiian Islands hanging over the beds. So the story behind our concept, it makes our guests more excited to see our property.
Right. And not just the physical aspect of it, but it's also what we offer at the hotel. We know, again, as I said earlier, that it's all about the experience that they encounter at the hotel. So what can we do here? So we have also created a lot of different guest activities on site where we call it salty and sweet. So we've got shave ice with popcorn. We have live music. We have wine tasting. We have haku, lei making. We had hula. We had Zumba. We had mixology. So we are trying different things, and we want to bring them into our hotel so our guests can experience the different what it means to stay at Shoreline.
When I was down in Waikiki about a month ago, and what I loved, and I'm like, oh, there's Shoreline. You guys are kind of this not hidden gem, but what I think you guys have done a phenomenal job, what I've seen and what I've heard, is repurposing a location, a building, and breathing new life into it. I think that speaks a lot into, one, respecting just kind of nature, right? Like just to tear something down and put something back up. What you guys did was repurpose something already there and turn it into something new. I just think that is awesome. And you guys are centrally located. Staying at Shoreline is kind of its own little oasis in itself, but then you got the nightlife around you guys, and everything is accessible right there. So I know 2018 is that kind of glow of relaunching and that that excitement in that, maybe that glow is starting to wear off a little bit. I'm just speculating. And maybe you're looking towards what's next. Have you had that conversation, or what does the future of Shoreline look like in your guys' view?
We've had that before. We've had that conversation because I know we need to keep it exciting and interesting. And we can't change the physical aspect or the look of it right away because we just redid that. So what do we do to not become, I guess, stale? So we again developed this whole guest experience on property, always bring in different activities that our guests can join in for free, and also get that experience of Hawaii still. We also, it's all about the offerings really that we have at the hotel. That's what we have to keep up here.
Right. A lot of, maybe we're switching gears a little bit here, but a lot of Hawaii's best audiences and some of the people that I'm in contact with are influencers, local, on island, but also from around the world. From my view, it looks like you guys have done an amazing job at partnering with some influencers. If somebody wanted to get in contact with you, is that something that is available?
Yes, definitely. They can definitely contact us directly, or they can contact our PR agency, Made Society.
Okay, that's good to know. From your guys' view, living on island for a little bit, if someone's coming to the islands for the first time, this is one of the questions I just love to ask because there's no right or wrong answer. And I think for the people listening in, tuning in right now, I think it's good to, as they're preparing their trip to Hawaii, from your guys' view, what are some things to be aware of prior to coming to, it could be Oahu, Maui, Kauai, it doesn't matter what island, but just coming to the islands, what are some things that you would want people to be aware of to get the most out of their experience on the islands?
For me, just because I would say my advice to be aware of to travelers here is utilize the hotel resources, meaning ask the front desk where the hidden gems are, because we live here. So we kind of know we go to certain places that a lot of our tourists won't go. So I mean, always talk to the people at the hotel because they will give you some tips on where to go that it's not the typical thing that you see. So you get to really experience Hawaii, or experience living like a local. So I would definitely tell them, get to know them, talk to them. Because, front desk people love to talk to our guests. And they love to share all their different ideas and what they do while they do what they do here on island.
From my end, I would, because like what I mentioned earlier, Hawaii has a lot to offer. So I would strongly suggest to all the travelers, especially those who are first timer here in Hawaii, to do a research and because most of the travelers, they're staying here for like what, 4 days or 6 days. Of course, I would advise them to maximize their stay because, there's a lot of things to do, from surfing, hiking, and even food exploration. It's, everything, you can get it here in Hawaii. So I would strongly suggest to research and get information about the things that they really want to do, that they're really interested to do, and, maximize their time while they're here on the island.
I think one thing that everyone needs to be aware of is they need to relax, enjoy what Hawaii has to offer. And I guess the big thing is just take your time and relax.
Yeah.
And enjoy the culture.
Right.
And local experience.
Yeah. Slow down, enjoy the culture, talk to people.
That's right.
Drive the speed limit. Don't honk your horn. It's going to be okay. You're in Hawaii. Is there anything else that you wanted to add on to, you wanted people to know more about Shoreline and your guys' brand?
Aside from the colors, the design aspect and what we have to offer here, we also do offer a small as amenity snack for each guest that arrive at our hotel that's staying for 2 nights or more. And we really did a lot of research on our snack to make sure that we're not just putting any just typical snack that you can buy anywhere. So we made sure that our snack tray is consistent of a lot of local items here.
That is amazing. I wanted to go there a little bit because a lot of people I talk with, businesses, hotels, a lot of it is about supporting local. And I'm glad you mentioned that. Maybe you can unpack that a little bit. What does that look like for Shoreline?
One of the best examples is our welcome amenity.
Yeah, that's
because our welcome amenity, it has like 13 local Hawaiian products. So we're showcasing, what the unique food or delicacies here in Hawaii. Because that way, it's a combination of you can find macadamia nuts, potato chips.
We've got the granola bar from Anahola. Granola bar from what island is that? I forgot now. I think Big Island. We have the kukui nuts. We've got the passion orange juice. And so again, really important to support the local businesses here, so people. Again, you come to Hawaii to experience Hawaii, right?
Yeah, right.
So you want to do that, and by doing so, again, it was very important for us to do the local aspect with our welcome tray or welcome amenities. We also once a week we do what we call pauhana, because it's pauhana weekly. So what we do there, we also offer our local snacks. We have the live music, local artists here. It's always great to see like the snacks being eaten because it's so different. We've got the mochi, we've got forakaki, arari, and then the dried mango with the lihing. So it's fun to watch people say, "Oh, what's this? How do you eat this?" It's very cool to introduce them to something very new.
I love that. That's good. Well, ladies, thank you so much for your time today. How can people find out more about Shoreline? Where can they go?
They can definitely go to our website, ShorelineHotelWaikiki.com. They can also check us out on our Instagram, our Facebook, and they can call us directly as well, which is at 808-931-2444.
I just want to thank you. As you're talking, I had a kind of thought pop in my head, and I just want to say thank you for taking a risk. And you could have just played it safe, and you could have you put up a really good hotel, but you took a risk, and I think you're seeing that pay off. And it's a unique experience, and it's an intentional experience. It values your guests, and it values local culture as well. I know that there's probably a lot of, like you mentioned, tension leading up to the relaunch and the rebrand and all that, but way to go. Way to be an example of just taking a risk and going with your gut.
Well, thank you so much. Now that we see what it is, it was definitely worth it.
That's great. Well, again, thank you so much for your time coming on Hawaii's Best today.
Well, thank you so much, Bryan, for having us on. We really enjoyed this.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bryan, for the experience.
Absolutely. Great. Thank you. Aloha.
Aloha.
Well, I just want to thank Elvira and her team again just for taking the time to come on Hawaii's Best and sharing a little bit more about Shoreline and the recent rebrand and what they're up to, what the future looks like at this amazing hotel. If you're planning on coming to Waikiki, definitely consider checking out Shoreline. And like I mentioned in our conversation together, if you're an influencer on Instagram, hit them up, send them a DM, send them an email. They're always looking to partner with influencers and spreading their brand, spreading awareness of what they're all about. So that could be a cool opportunity for you if that kind of fits your niche. And again, just want to say thanks for hanging out with me today. And I look forward to hanging out again on our next episode of Hawaii's Best. Until then, aloha.
Thanks for listening to Hawaii's Best Podcast. To stay up to date on future episodes, be sure to hit the subscribe button and follow us on Instagram at hawaiis.best.